is Ralf Kubli. I am one of the board members of the Casper Association. Casper went live mainnet at the end of March, so we have a little bit of work to do, to catch up to Cardano. But it's important to understand we believe that, enterprise adoption is key for this industry to grow and for us to be successful. Why do we think there's some really big problems? Just as Frederick noted as well, we are working diligently to basically provide infrastructure that is known to Web and familiar with Web to Web 2 developers, right? Because we believe that one of the attendees here yesterday told me you can only do Web 3 if you understand Web 2. And there's a huge amount of talent and opportunity and developers out there that live outside of our bubble and that want to get into a blockchain and that want to deploy blockchains on an enterprise level and in an environment that they know. So these are some of the barriers that we see. We believe that we have proposed a solution to some of these barriers. The blockchain trilemma, the implementation of Casper CBC, or of correct by construction proof of stake protocol as proposed by us in the form of the Casper network, we believe solves some of these some of this trilemma, including not compromising on security, as Frederick said. It's relatively easy to scale if you can allow yourself to be down 17 hours and then just start with a new Genesis block, right? If we all did that, I'm not sure how happy you were to live in this space, but apparently the market doesn't care and it's worth a lot of money and billions. In case you don't know what I'm talking about, you can probably look at the market caps. So really, how do we do it? You can scale with us without sacrifice. It's easy to use because it's your environment that you're familiar with. Any language, any existing language that compiles to WebAssembly can be used in our environment. And of course, we have sustainable costs and we're future-proof because we do provide upgradability to our smart contracts. Now, you can, of course, have immutable contracts as well, but that really depends on your choice of how you would like to operate. We've broken down the areas where we believe that the users and our stakeholders are most interested in, and this is basically our guiding principles to bring innovation and to enable developers to onboard onto our chain and onto this application environment. How do we do it? I mentioned it before. You can pick the language that you want. There are no new tools needed. You'll get enterprise-grade support, just like other projects. The Casper Association has a professional services environment in its ecosystem that you can really rely on as an enterprise, or also as a small project if you want. Maybe some of the items under the hood. Keep in mind that you can start with a permission or with a private environment. You can move to a permissioned environment and you can move to the public environment without ever changing anything in your infrastructure. You don't have to deploy new smart contracts. You don't have to move user data, etc. That is one of the key innovations that we bring to this space. You can test in your IDE environments how this is going to work in the future, and then you choose, how do I deploy? Do I deploy in a private environment? Do I deploy in a permissioned environment with a consortium? Do I deploy right away in the public environment? I think I briefly touched on that, and no needs to really deploy new smart contracts, test again, back test, move user data. That is really key, and we believe that makes Casper future-proof and really should be one of the serious choices that you should consider when you deploy in this space. We're very excited about some of the account management and administration tools that we have. You can see this here. We do offer a range of capabilities and they're all on the host side. So one or two of which I'm quite excited because it's really innovative, is flexible key management and execution thresholds, and separate from that, we are allowing you permission management to separate permission management from contract execution, which is not the case in many cases. That's kind of a mute slide. Why is upgradability important? Because it's important. Okay, what is being built on Casper today? Obviously, there's more than this, but this is the first two projects, IPV and MetaCask, are projects that are live. These are productive environments on Casper, less than 6 months after it has publicly launched. So we understand the market likes DeFi pools and AMMs and stuff like that, but here, there's real technology deployed. And then, of course, what I'm personally very excited about is Nucleus Finance, which you will hear more about it, which is algorithmic definitions of cash flows integrated onto blockchains, which will essentially change capital markets. I can talk about this for hours as well, and we are happy to talk to anybody who wants to talk about that over lunchtime. How does our ecosystem environment look like? So in the middle, so to say, hopefully at the heart is Casper Association, the owner and steward of the core open source core development, the roadmap and the community development. You have Casper Labs, which built a large part of the technology, which we took over and made open source and available to the public, who is currently focusing on enterprise applications and building commercial software on top of Casper. And then you have the DevX DAO, which has a very large grant from the Casper Association, who is an independent organization. It's a DAO, it's a decentralized autonomous organization that is distributing grants in our environments for people that build on Casper, but also for people that build on software or research or tools for decentralization. So that was Casper. You can connect with us here, and obviously I'm around for most of the day. So maybe now we can do a little bit of Q&A.